Hey everybody, it's low-carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger, and I help people do keto without the crazy. Today, I thought I would just have a little casual coffee chit-chat and talk about an issue that I think is very important that is probably not talked about enough in our keto and low-carb nutrition circles, or any health and nutrition circles for that matter. And I just kind of wanted to start off by showing you my beloved trusty Rosie the Riveter mug, the famous We Can Do It image from World War II. And I've pointed this out on previous videos. I had some fans that met me at a conference and brought me this little gift. It's like a silicone, looks like a tomato top, and it just keeps your coffee warm. It helps keep the steam from escaping. They saw me keep a little tea towel over my coffee mug on some videos, and they brought me this thing. So anyway, nice hot coffee. It's kind of early morning here, no makeup, no jewelry. We can have an au naturel casual chat every now and then. So who is old enough watching this that you remember the Saturday Night Live skit with Mike Myers? It was Coffee Talk, or rather Coffee Talk, with Linda Richman. He based that character on his mother-in-law, if I recall correctly. Long Island, New York type Jew, and I'm a Staten Island, born and raised New York Jew, and so his tagline was, "Get a cup of coffee, we'll talk, no big whoop." So that's where we are. Let's have a little coffee talk, shall we? Just as a matter of curiosity, in case anyone cares, I normally am a purist when it comes to coffee. I prefer regular coffee, like without flavoring and stuff, and I definitely prefer a dark roast. I am like a dark, almost burnt coffee kind of girl. But today I am drinking the Mocha Raspberry from, I think it's a little hidden there, from that store World Market. There's probably one near you, Cost Plus World Market. Every now and then I go for a flavoring when I'm in the mood. I just normally stick to the plain stuff because, to be honest, almost always flavored coffees smell so much better than they taste. They smell amazing. It could be pumpkin, it could be mocha, it could be caramel, it could be vanilla nut, hazelnut, you name it. But it always tastes kind of fake and, to me, like chemically, for lack of a better word. And I know that's a dumb word, but almost like bleach, like a bleachy kind of flavor. Every now and then you find one that's pretty good. This one is pretty good, and I do have a little stockpile of flavored coffees for when I am in the mood. But more often when I'm in the mood for flavoring, I'll take a regular coffee, like my normal regular dark roast, and I have the sugar-free syrups. So you can get those online, or sometimes they have them at Bed Bath & Beyond and stores like that, at least in the US. The sugar-free, they have every flavor under the sun. They have some that are more coffee-oriented, like a hazelnut or a Kahlua or a gingerbread or something, but they have fruit flavors too. So anyway, let's move on. What did I want to talk about today? I wanted to talk about when diet is not your top priority, and possibly kind of going hand in hand with that when weight loss or fat loss is not your top priority. Is my microphone recording? Yes. I'm doing some work with a medical weight loss company now, so I'm getting exposure to a lot of clients that are different from what I'm used to. Most of the people who come to me for help through my website or who find me online are already doing keto and they're not getting the results they want. So it's a matter of like troubleshooting and tweaking. And then in this company, I'm getting a lot of people that are brand new to keto, which is nice because I don't have to deprogram them, right? They don't know about mTOR. They haven't heard of autophagy. They don't even know you can measure ketones. They just need to be told, hey, you'd probably do really well to cut way back on the amount of sugar and starch in your diet. So it's been kind of nice to start with the basics. But anyway, this company is also very big on, I won't give you the name, but they do lifestyle medicine. So it's not just diet. We talk to the clients about sleep and about stress and about physical activity and all of these other things. And that's something that we don't talk about enough in the keto and low carb world. Not, the stress and the exercise and, sleep. We talk about it, but we don't talk about it in the context of, hey, maybe right now at this period in time, those other things should take precedence over what you're eating. And there's two different ways to look at this, and let's kind of explore both. And I'll put links down in the notes to two videos I did many months ago about how to stay keto during the COVID time. I think I did them like in the early summer. So, how to stay keto during a very stressful time when things are unpredictable or your life is completely in upheaval. Again, two ways to go about it. One is that it's not always appropriate for diet to be your main focus. If you have a crisis going on in your life, maybe it's a little bit less important what you're eating or how much you're eating or when you're eating. Maybe the thing that needs to happen and the place where most of your focus needs to be is on whatever that situation is. A family crisis, an economic thing, whatever it is. Diet is maybe not the thing that should be occupying most of your mental energy. And it's even focusing on these other things. Like for me, for example, my diet is pretty good. Could it always be better? Yeah. Like, are there habits that I want to change? Yeah. But to be quite honest with you, the things that are affecting my mental health right now and also my physical health, probably not my diet. For example, I don't sleep enough. And it's not because I can't fall asleep or I don't stay asleep. I just like to stay up. I like to stay up until insane hours of the wee morning for no reason. It's not like I'm up till 2 or 3 in the morning writing all these really, informative and helpful blog posts. I'm just dicking around, pardon my language, on Twitter, scrolling through stuff, watching dumb stuff that doesn't even really matter. So if I'm going to put genuine effort, especially like mental and emotional effort, toward making a big dent in some habits right now, for me, sleep is the place that I should put the priority. It's not my diet. My diet is already pretty good. Is it perfect? No. But between the two, if I had to choose, making improvements in which area is going to yield the biggest dividends in my life right now, it's the sleep. It's not actually diet. Maybe it's the same for you. Maybe it's sleep. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's getting more fresh air. Not even talking about exercise, like deliberately moving more, but just getting out in the daylight, getting more sunlight, getting, again, more fresh air. There's a little bit of research on that. I haven't written much about that. Just exposure to like the sort of nature, for lack of a better word. So, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. You don't always have to make diet your main focus. So I said there were two things. Let's go to the second thing and then we'll kind of see how they intertwine, because they do interact for sure. The other way to look at this is that when you are in a crisis situation and when there are other things going on in your life that make your diet less important, that's when it's especially important to be on point with your diet. Because if you are eating well, so you feel physically well, maybe you have a health problem where you don't feel great, but you feel as good as you can feel right now. So you're eating well, you're digesting well, you're not bloated all the time, you're not gassy and constipated all the time. You're eating well, so you have sharp thinking, you're getting enough nutrients, and you're off that blood sugar roller coaster, so your moods are a little bit evened out. If you have anxiety or something, you're able to deal with life's vicissitudes a little more easily. You could make the argument for those reasons that during times of crisis or during times of stress or upheaval, it's especially important to be diligent with your diet, because being diligent with your diet helps you deal with the other situations. A little coffee break. Never hurt anybody. So both arguments are equally valid. And I think with my Keto Without the Crazy, and of course I can't forget my book that's coming out very soon with Dr. Westman, End Your Carb Confusion, we try to keep everything very simple, because if you keep the diet simple and you understand how simple it can be, it's that much easier to put your diet on autopilot. You don't even think about it. thus freeing up all of the mental and emotional space and energy to deal with the crisis. When you don't have to think about your food at all, then how much better able are you to deal with all the other stuff? And I'll just kind of give you a couple of examples, or maybe explain what I mean by that, putting your diet on autopilot. If you understand that the single most important thing about keto and low carb is keeping your carbohydrate intake low, and to whatever extent, however low you need to go is an individual thing. Some people need 20 total grams of carbs or fewer, like super strict Dr. Westman page 4 or Atkins induction. Some people can have 30, 40, 50, 80 grams, wherever you need to be. As long as you do that, everything else really is secondary. So if you understand that not every meal has to be a gourmet 3-course meal, not every meal has to be the stuff of Food Network specials, it's okay to have a can of tuna and some sliced cucumber for lunch. It's okay to have hard-boiled eggs with mustard and mayo for dinner. If your diet is on autopilot, you don't think of it. You don't, well, how many grams is this? And how many grams of fat am I having? And did I have too much protein today? And what about that? You can think about all that stuff, but you don't have to. And when you keep it very simple and very basic, the diet takes care of itself, right? If you keep your fridge and freezer and pantry stocked with foods that are suitable to your level of carb intake, to your dietary needs and preferences, your allergies, what have you, then you can have meals ready in minutes. I wrote a whole blog series a long time ago on low carb and keto cooking and keeping it simple. And I'll link to one or two of the posts where one thing I talked about was cooking in bulk and cooking in advance. Cook massive quantities of food. It is pointless to hard boil 2 or 3 eggs at a time. Sure, if you only want 2 or 3 eggs at that time, great. But why not boil 2 or 3 dozen? You're going to make a pot of boiling water anyway. Make a ton of hard-boiled eggs. Stick them in the fridge. They don't really go bad. Best by or sell by dates on food are pretty arbitrary. They're kind of ridiculous. They're designed to make you buy more food and throw out perfectly good food. So, I'm not a food safety specialist, use your own discretion, but if you're going to grill a chicken breast, grill 10 chicken breasts. You got the pan out anyway, or if you got the grill going outside anyway, you're going to get a Pyrex dish and bake 2 pork chops, bake 5 pork chops. Keep cold meat cooked in the fridge. You can always just grab it and gnaw on it as a snack or for dinner. You're going to grill a steak, grill 5 steaks. Have one for dinner. The next day, you take another one, slice it up, dip it in guacamole or ranch dressing, put it on a salad, cut it up into chunks and put it in an omelet. Cook huge amounts of food. Or have tons of food on hand that you don't even have to cook, right? If you are into canned seafood, salmon, sardines, mackerel, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Tuna. If, cold cuts like deli meat, lunch meat is fine. Turkey, roast beef, pastrami. Ham tends to be higher in sugar, but compared to eating bread and pasta and rice and cookies, you're better off eating a little bit of ham. But, if you're going to cold cuts, don't get the brown sugar glazed turkey. Get the roasted turkey or the cracked pepper turkey. I just bought a ton of that this morning. I was at the store earlier. Again, roast beef, those are fine. And you can just reach into the fridge and grab a slice. Cheese, keep an array of cheeses, whatever you like. Get a rotisserie chicken. Yes, they're sitting under the heat lamps and plastic at the store. Yes, they have some kind of injected sodium and dextrose solution. Again, better than eating granola and cereal and fruit smoothies and sugar, right? So there's a spectrum of food when we're on low carb. There's 0 carb, teeny tiny bit of carbs, more and more carbs, and then crazy. So when you're not obsessed over the purity and the quality and getting every single thing right down to the ounce and the gram, and how much vitamin C did I get, and what about the potassium, and I didn't get enough boron. When you just let that stuff go and worry about the most important thing to worry about anyway, which is managing your carb intake. You just, you liberate yourself from the fear. You liberate yourself from the constant anxiety of the numbers and the tracking. And I've always said, if you enjoy the data, some people love the spreadsheets and the apps. I personally don't. I recognize the utility. Can that stuff be helpful? Yes. Do I ever recommend that clients track? Yes, especially if they're not getting the results they want. Maybe it's time to track because maybe you think you're at 30 grams of carbs a day and you're actually at 60, or whatever. Maybe you think you're only having 100 grams of fat and you're actually having 150, and then you wonder why you're not losing body fat. Whatever the case may be, you just, again, liberate is the best word. You liberate yourself from that burden, that emotional burden of trying to do everything perfectly, when again, maybe right now is not the time to make the perfect diet the focus of your entire being. Maybe you have a sick child, or maybe you're caring for an elderly parent, or maybe someone in your life has COVID. Maybe who knows what. Maybe there's a crisis going on with your work, or any other number of things, or even, like I was saying earlier, with your own life. Maybe your diet isn't great, but it's pretty good, but you are stressed out like crazy. You never take time for yourself. You don't know how to tell no to people. Maybe those things would be a better avenue for your focus right now than your food. And it's not that you forget about your food entirely. It's not that I'm just going to eat anything and I'm off keto. I'm going to focus on sleep. Therefore, I'm just going to eat donuts and crap instead. No, you put the diet on the autopilot. You just eat the regular. I'm just going to get the $2.99 ground beef that's on sale, and it's not grass-fed, and that's okay. And I'm just going to get the rotisserie chicken because I'm in a hurry and I just need something that's really good for me to eat, that's low in carbs, that I don't have to worry about. I don't even have to cook it. It's in the fridge. I can just pick at it, whatever I want. So yeah, I'm repeating myself. I should stop talking soon. But that's just all I wanted to say, is that it's okay for diet to not be your main focus all the time. And not only is it okay, it might actually help you. And remember, I said everything is kind of intertwined. Let's take another coffee sip, shall we? It's intertwined, because when the diet is on autopilot, it frees up all that mental space to focus on the other things, but also getting your diet, sticking to the diet pretty well because it's on autopilot, because you've made it so easy and so simple for yourself. It's easy to handle. Eating well and feeling well and thinking sharply and doing all that good stuff that low carb and keto do for us helps us tackle the other stuff better, right? How much better positioned are you to deal with stress, or to have the energy and even the emotional desire to go for a walk in nature when you feel well? When your stomach isn't upset all the time because you ate something that's not, the best for you, or you're not living with brain fog all the time and you're not fatigued and tired. So it's all connected, you see, but it's connected in a way that you don't have to obsess over any one thing. And I also, just as a reminder, I wrote a blog post a long time ago on cheat meals, and I'll link to that too. Anything I mentioned today, just check below in the notes. There'll be links to everything. I did a blog post on cheat meals because let's not talk about quote unquote cheating right now, but let's say your diet normally is really, really good and you pride yourself on that. Like, I haven't had a piece of bread in 8 years and and I never eat more than 25 grams total carbs, and I get this and that. Great, good for you. But, now my life, oh my gosh, something crazy just happened in my life and I can't keep my diet the way it normally is. Guess what? the good news is, let's say you've been doing keto or lowish carb. Hey, I've been eating really, really well for 8 months or a year or 10 years or 3 months, whatever the period is, I've been doing really well. And this week was a shit week. It was an SHIT week, and okay, let's have that nosedive not be a nosedive into the dozen donuts and the sleeve of cookies and the tube of saltine crackers and the whatever, the pint of ice cream. Let's have the diversion, the dietary diversion be, I had some hummus. Like I had a piece of fruit. I got the burger and I ate the bun. You know what the good thing about that is? It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a failure at life. It doesn't even make you a failure at keto, right? You've been doing really, really well for a long time, or maybe even only a short period of time. And then you had a little slip. It just, diet wasn't the number one thing. You ate a couple of things you don't normally eat. You don't undo all the progress you've done. All the good things that have happened do not get undone or negated over a period of just a day or even a week. Maybe you'll gain a couple of pounds back that's mostly water retention. It's not body fat. Maybe your blood sugar is going to be wonky for a little bit, but the minute you get back to plan, you're good to go. So don't wallow in guilt and self-pity. Celebrate the fact that, hey, for the past 4 months or the past year, I've been eating better than I ever have in my entire life. I've been feeling better. I've been doing really well. And I just had this little blip on the radar that wasn't as good as usual, and now I'm back to my normal place. Great! Great! Can we be proud of ourselves for doing the best we can under whatever circumstances we're in? And knowing that our best at that time may be not up to our usual quote-unquote best standard. The standard you hold yourself to is movable. And I know there's an argument to be made for, no, this is where I am and that's it. Like there's no excuse. There's no excuse for eating a cookie. There's no excuse for not leaving the bun off there's no excuse, but that still doesn't make you a bad person. Like, could you have not eaten the bun? Yeah, but you ate it. Okay, so what? Next time, don't eat the bun. Like, let's just keep the perspective. Keep the perspective. I'm going to stop talking with my coffee now. I've said enough. I hope this little episode of Keto Coffee Talk was fun for you. My website is www.toitnutrition.com, and I do have to say www. We've run into a little hiccup with the website, and if you just go to toitnutrition.com, you're going to get some error message, so be sure to put www. Remember, I almost forgot, I am wearing my trusty Carnegie Mellon shirt. Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh is where I got my undergraduate degree in creative writing. CMU is world-renowned for engineering and architecture and musical theater and computer engineering. I happen to major in creative writing there, so they do have a liberal arts program, but at least I'm putting the degree to use. I'm writing books, pre-order End Your Carb Confusion. I have another book out called The Stall Slayer, stallslayer.com. Links to everything below. That will be handy for you if you are stuck in a fat loss stall on keto. I also wrote a book about Alzheimer's disease. I don't talk much about that on my YouTube channel, but it's called The Alzheimer's Antidote. They call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes or diabetes of the brain. So if you're wondering why on earth a keto nutrition person would have anything to say about Alzheimer's, that's why. You can learn more about that in the book, The Alzheimer's Antidote. And I wanted to say something else about CMU. Pittsburgh, I love Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It grew on me so much. I love that town. There was something else I was going to say. No, just showing you a few of my favorite things. My Rosie mug, my CMU shirt. And I just think I like being able to say that I went to Carnegie Mellon because it makes me sound way smarter than I am. Like I said, like brilliant engineers go there, architects, and then people like me who just put words on pages. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope that helps give you some calm when you do have those times in your life where your diet isn't so great and when diet isn't your focus, because really, truly, sometimes diet isn't the best place to start. I had a client recently through that company I'm working for now where we said, oh, you know what? Based on what's going on in your life right now, let's take the focus off the food. Let's table the food, no pun intended. Let's, don't eat a crazy, insane diet, but let's make the food a secondary or tertiary concern right now. Let's focus on this other thing that's much more pressing. You are free to do the same. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.